Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to study about the chemical properties of the metals and non-metals. I hope you remember what we did yesterday. We talked about the physical properties of metals and non-metals. And what were the physical properties? Like metals are hard, they are rigid, except mercury. It is in liquid state. Okay. And one more we talked about gallium. Gallium, it can melt on the body temperature. If we keep it in our palm, then it will start melting away. Okay. So it has such a low melting point. Same way some other physical properties we learned about, like what were they? Like they are ductile, they are malleable. Ductility means they can be pulled into wires, and malleability means that they can be beaten into sheets, very fine sheets. Example was foil of silver, okay, which is used as for decorative purposes in sweets, chandi ka work in Hindi we call it. Okay. Other than that, you can see the malleability of aluminium foils in which the food is wrapped. So all these, like some more physical properties were there: electrical conductivity and thermal conductivity, that metals can conduct heat through them. Same way, one property was left, and I am going to discuss that also. Metals are sonorous. Okay, sonorous. Sonorous means that on hitting some metal, it produces a tinkling sound. Okay, it has a tinkling sound, jingling, like bells. When they are hit with the gong, what happens? They produce a tinkling sound. Okay, such type of property is called sonority, or we call metals are sonorous. While non-metals, they are not sonorous, they are non-sonorous. Okay, they do not show such type of property. So the bells, as you might have seen in your schools, etc., where the bells are, what kind of metal is there? There are some specific metal which can produce tinkling sound, which can be heard till a large distance. Okay, and that's why the particular metal is being chosen for that. Okay, fine. So now we are going to start with the chemical properties. Now chemical properties, what does it mean? Chemical property means that when by now we were talking about physical, and physical means appearance wise, or how do they look, or how do they behave. But now, what is the chemical composition of the metals and how they react or they show their behavior toward other chemical substances? So first, chemical property of metals and non-metals. We are going to talk about them side by side, metals as well as non-metals. So first is reaction with oxygen. Okay, how the metal reacts with oxygen. See, when they are treated, or when a metal reacts with oxygen, it always produces metal oxides. What it produces? It produces metal oxides. Now these metal oxides which are formed on reaction of metal and oxygen, they are basic in nature. They are basic in nature. Basic means when we bring a litmus paper, or you can say some indicator, then it will show basic behavior. Okay, it is going to show the basic behavior. It acts like a base. Fine. So let us see how the reaction takes place. The general reaction is metal plus oxides give metal oxides. Let us see some reactions. For example, magnesium. You know magnesium. It is commonly found in the laboratories in schools, and magnesium is in the form of a ribbon. We call it magnesium ribbon. When this magnesium ribbon, it is highly coiled, and we take it, first of all we remove the corrosion from that ribbon. It is corroded, it gets reacted with the atmospheric gases and becomes a little bit brownish in nature. So first of all, that layer is removed. And how do we remove it? Either with the help of a sandpaper. Sandpaper is very gritty in texture, so it rubs, and because of the roughness, it will remove the layer. And then we burn it in presence of oxygen. And you will be surprised to know that when this magnesium ribbon burns in the presence of oxygen, it burns with a dazzling white flame, like a milky white flame. Okay, and it reacts with oxygen on burning and forms MgO. We are going to balance it. How? 2MgO2. So this is how the reaction takes place. Now this is from magnesium oxide and it is a white color ash. White ash. When it is heated, it produces dazzling white flame. It burns with dazzling white flame and the residue that is left is called magnesium oxide, and this magnesium oxide is basic in nature. Okay, when dissolved in water, it is going to make a base and we call it magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide. Second example, let us take, this was first one. Second, sodium, a highly reactive metal. It's very reactive in nature. Reactivity is at highest level. See, it is so much reactive that if it is kept open in the room, okay, normally how do we keep sodium? Sodium is always kept immersed in kerosene oil. Why? Because oil will cut off the connection of air. Oil never allows the air to enter inside it. So this sodium, sodium is very soft. It can be easily cut with a knife. And it is lustrous, it shows shine. Okay. So this sodium, when taken out of the air and kept, we clean it with tissue paper or blotting paper, absorb all the oil. As soon as it is kept in the air, it starts burning. If it falls in water, then also it starts burning. It is highly reactive. Means its reactivity is at that level that if it is kept in air, then also it will react and show reaction and burn. And if it comes in contact with water, then also it burns. So here we are talking, because we are talking about reaction with oxygen. So when this sodium is kept in oxygen or air, so what will happen? Formation of Na2O will be there. Sodium oxide. This is magnesium oxide and this is sodium oxide. Okay, this will be formed. And this is sodium. If we need to balance it, then we are going to put here. Everything is balanced. Sodium and oxygen, they react with each other and form sodium oxide. So this is how the reaction takes place of reaction with oxygen. The metals, they react with. Reaction metals we are talking here. Okay. Now let us come to the, I hope it is clear to everyone. Now we will discuss about the reaction of non-metals with oxygen. Okay. How do the non-metals show their behavior when they come in contact with oxygen? Non-metals. When they come in contact with oxygen, what happens? They again form, like metals, they will form metallic oxides. Sorry, non-metallic oxides. Okay. But these non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. They show acidic nature. Means if we bring blue litmus paper in contact to this metallic oxide solution, then what we are going to see, that they turn it red. It means it is acidic in nature. Okay. So when these non-metals, they react with oxygen, they form non-metallic oxide. We call it non-metallic, METALLIC oxides. Okay. When the non-metals, they react with oxygen, they form non-metallic oxide, and they turn these blue litmus to red. It is an indicator. Blue litmus is an indicator. Same way, in that reaction of metals with oxygen produced basic oxides. Okay, and those oxides, when they come in contact with red litmus, they will turn it to blue, showing that it is basic in nature. So always remember, blue litmus is turned to red, then it is an acid. If red litmus is turned to blue color, then it is a base. So let us see some examples of these. When carbon reacts with oxygen, okay, something burns, carbon burns in air, it produces carbon dioxide. So it will produce CO2. Okay. Now if this CO2 is dissolved in water, it produces an acid. We call it carbonic acid. And that acid is going to show this test, that blue litmus turns red. Blue litmus to red. Okay. Second example, let us take, like you have heard about acid rain. What happens? How this acid rain happens? See, fuel is burning. Fuel like petroleum or coal, etc. are burning. So when they are burnt, what happens? Some sulfur and nitrogen, these compounds are there. They react with oxygen, because in the presence of oxygen only the fuel is burning. So they are going to produce some oxides of sulfur, nitrogen, and they remain suspended in the air. These oxides, they remain suspended in the air. As a result, when it rains, the water is dissolving these oxides in it and then falls on the earth. As a result, what happens? The water that was very pure, in pure form, purest form, has been contaminated by these oxides. And now they have become, the water, rainwater is no more rainwater. It is now a mild acid. It has acidic nature. Okay. Now these acids, when they fall on the earth in the form of rainfall, what happens? They damage the habitats. Like some microorganisms are there, or some very small insects are there. They are killed by these acidic rain. Okay. So, and the most common example, the most sufferer is our Taj Mahal. You know, Taj Mahal, it is made up of white marble, and now it is turning grey. Why? Because of the acid rain. So now government is taking measures also, like CNG is being used maximum, so that such type of pollution can be reduced. So coming back to the concept, next let us take sulfur reacts with oxygen and forms SO2. Okay. Now when these CO2 reacts with water, okay, it is going to form carbonic acid, as I told you, H2CO3. We call it carbonic acid. So it is acidic in nature, and it is going to turn blue litmus to red. Same way, when this SO2 reacts with water, it will produce sulfurous acid, H2SO3. It is called sulfurous, SULPHUROUS acid. It is a mild acid. Okay. When it falls on earth, it is going to increase the acidic character of the soil, etc., and will kill the microorganisms. So this is how the metals and non-metals, they react with oxygen and produce what kind of oxides? They make, metals make basic oxides, while non-metals make acidic oxides. So I hope it is clear to everyone. So this property of, chemical property of reaction of metals with oxygen. So today's task is, we are going to do only this today. So today you are to learn that how metals and oxygen show their behavior towards oxygen. Okay.